So it was, even in New York, the circle of the independent comic or author comics, like non-superheroes comics, were small. It was small, but there were many publishers. There was Fantagraphics and Bookshelf and Top Shelf and then Drown and Quarterly and yeah, many more. And there was the MoCA, the festival, and there were like 5 or 6 comic bookstores, very big and important. And so it was an industry. It was not selling as Superman, but it was, it was good. And so if that happened in New York, that could happen in Chile. Everything that happened in the United States, like 10 years after it happened in Chile, like the economic disaster is happening in Chile too. So why it's not coming? It's the same thing. We are until here of debts and credit cards. We copy everything from the United States. So now there are some publishers that they usually publish, literature, and they now are publishing comics. They call me and they want me to do it. I never went to them and it's like, I want to publish my comics. No, they call me and they call many other artists, and they are doing this new, collection. And another one is doing the same. Ocho Libros is doing the same. And they are publishers that are independent comics. They are artists who create this publisher, and they are doing a great job. So little by little, this is happening. And I'm a teacher of comics in the university, and it's very difficult because the students cannot read the comics because they don't sell them. All the comics I teach them, like Daniel Clowes and Charles Burns and Seth and Chris Ware, everything. They can't see it. They can't read it because we don't sell them. People have them sometimes because they travel. They can see it on the internet. They can download PDFs and stuff like that. So it's not easy. It's like it's complicated to do it. But it's normal for me to do. I'm used to do some things that are not easy and not like art or something like that. So that is not a problem for me at all.
This is really interesting. I think we're putting together a map of the Americas in terms of comics, and this is one of the goals of our being here. If you look at the comic in Argentina, the proportion between art comic and non-art comic is very tilted toward the art comic. It's easier to produce art comic in Latin America, perhaps, and this is just a hypothesis, because there is not that much cultural history. That's one thought. And then the other is, some people would say that independent comics are an offshoot, an overflow of the commercial stuff. But you know what? It's actually the other way around, and we're putting it very nicely. It's back in the day when these people were jamming, right? When it was like jazz, your words, right? That there were these creative entities that got unleashed, and now, sure enough, they're part of the business. But it's the other way around. It's the offshoot.
It's always the other way.
It's the commercial.
It's always the other way. I mean, if the comics began from, they're an offshoot of the strip, the comic strip.
Right.
And those guys, they were jazz musicians. I mean, can you imagine doing this on a daily basis? I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it takes me months to figure out, lay out a page. I have the comfort to lay things out and relay things out. If I were working on a daily strip, it'd just be like, bang, you got that rhythm going. So creators created this wonderful field of comics back in the comic strip, and then it became, the collection and the books and all that in the history, as you know. But the business only came later after they started to. Hollywood started to mine for ideas and made successful movies that way, and now it's this giant you know.
And you know,
saying,
it's drying out.
well, it has to dry out because once you have that type of thought that comes in that all they want to do is make a profit every quarter, you can't take chances. And comics is all about, like I said, Jack Kirby. Like I was saying over dinner, Jack Kirby could create a world, destroy it in 2 panels later, and then rebuild it by the last page. You know. I mean, that's insane. You know, I mean. Yeah, that was the type of scope this man was thinking about. You know, I'll just create a giant gun that eats a galaxy. I mean, what do you breathing do? What do you smoke? I mean, this stuff was normal. This was normal for them. And now if they can't sell a TV series out of it, it's hard. I mean, when you look at what's happening, Superman, or not even Superman. Superman's a bad example, but some of the heroes that DC took when they did their 52 line, it was all dumbed down. You know, it was all like,
They talk about the disaster of Watchmen as a movie. You know, this Marvel's graphic novel ever, suddenly
yeah, they want to make another one.
Yep. Okay, so I just have one more question, and we'll open it up for discussion about the Americas and the image bank of the Americas. When you are walking down Mission Dolores neighborhood here in San Francisco, you're about to see some Jose Guadalupe Posada there in the streets, and there's the presence of Posada is in many ways there, and this is not only true of San Francisco, it's true of Los Angeles, and different forms of muralism revisit the style of Posada, just to take one example, who happens to be related historically with the kind of lira popular that you are referencing, right? Those panels that circulated at the woodcuts, right, from New York, from Washington Heights, is lira popular re-elaborated. So, my question is, do you think there is a certain image, a certain visuality to the Americas? Have you come across this in your work? A certain way of viewing things? I know this is a very abstract question, but is there any kind of visual continuity